going on, everyone? Vegan Power Strongman here. This video is about form correcting. It can be used for general gym exercises. So this one strategy I've used recently to get a personal record on my front squat is really easy. Just a simple strategy. Some of you probably already do it, but if you're not doing it, it's something I highly recommend doing. Not just when you go for personal records, but just in your general training. If you're doing an exercise for the first time, something like that. The first thing to recognize as well is that every exercise is different and depends on why you're doing the exercise as to what the correct form is. And the correct form is not necessarily one way of doing it. It depends on what your purpose of doing the exercise is. So I'll go with the example of a front squat here. If you're doing a front squat and you're going for maximum strength, but you're a power lifter, you might do the front squat to half depth. If you are just someone training for general strength and fitness and you want to be, and one of your goals is being really healthy and preventing injuries and having a very functional body that you're trying to develop yourself into an athlete, you might want to front squat all the way down to your calves. And in that case, correct form for a front squat is going to be different to correct form for a front squat that only goes halfway down to half depth. So the first thing to be aware of is, the first thing to ask yourself is, what am I trying to achieve from this exercise in this program? And what is the correct form for this exercise in this program to meet my goals? So in this case, I'm going for front squats all the way down to my calves, and I'm trying to prevent injuries by doing this because it's good for your knees and your hips and everything to be able to go into a deep squat. And I'm also just going full depth because I prefer going full depth with exercises. I usually prefer a larger range of motion in my exercises. That's just my personal preference. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to show you the video where I failed my personal record attempt on the front squat, and just comment on what I did wrong, and then show you the video where I got it correct. So there's two ways you can monitor your form. One is to have a friend watching you and give you some feedback. That's fine, that can work. But my preferred way is just to film it with your phone or with a video camera. The reason is, if you film it, you can watch it afterwards and you can see exactly what happened, and you can get better feedback, more accurate feedback, because what happens is, when you're filming it, you can watch it afterwards and pause it at different stages of a lift to see exactly where things went wrong or things went well. And so filming is my preferred method of form correcting. Filming exercises, reflecting upon it, and then doing the exercise again. So I'm going to show you how that worked for me and how that got me a new personal record on a front squat. Okay, so in this video you'll see here that I'm preparing for my squat. I'm shaking my body around so my muscles are nice and loose before the lift. And then I am getting the bar here with my cross grip. I'm getting the bar as close as I can to my collarbone. I'm walking backwards and then getting steady. And you'll see what happens is I arch my back and lose my form, which makes myself fall forward. Here's where I arch, I lose it, bar falls into my elbows and I catch it. That's a great way of preventing injury. If this happens to you in a front squat, just catch the weight on your elbows like I did here. Okay, I've got this one in slow-mo so you can see how I corrected my form here. So basically the problem was I wasn't pushing my knees outwards enough, which was meaning that my torso was leaning forwards and my upper back was arching. So the way I corrected this was to really make sure that I had my torso and chest pointing upwards. Here again, I'm just shaking out any tightness in my muscles, so I'm loose before I start the lift and I can control my muscles throughout. And so basically what I do differently in this lift is really push my knees outwards and maintain an upright posture with my torso. And something that's assisted me with this, with front squats, is also really kind of sticking my ass out, because it means that the pelvis is tilted in an axial, in an anterior way, which means that the torso is held upright, the chest is puffed out, and the back is arched rather than rounded. So a slight arch in the back will help in a front squat in terms of maintaining the posture. So you'll see here that straight from the start I've got a slight arch in my back, there's no rounding, and as I start to go down, once I'm steady, I drop straight down into the hole, I don't move backwards, and I maintain an upright posture. So here I am, pretty upright, and right here where I lost it last time, I was able to stay upright enough to here now finish the lift and lock out. So getting that lock out there was excellent, and maintaining the upright position in the most difficult part of the lift was where I won my personal record there. So that's reflective practice. I highly recommend doing this to achieve personal records and to make sure that you're doing the exercise you want, the way you want to do it. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. First thing is to know what the correct form is for your exercise and for the purpose of your training. The second thing is to ensure that you're using that form, and form correcting with a camera is the best way to go. I hope you enjoy this. Like, subscribe and share. Check out my other content if you're new. Cheers. Catch up.